Okay, so sorry for this little bun up top. I sort of did a little twisty right there, and I feel like a unicorn. Unicorns are nice. So I wanted to share. I'm going to try to insert the post here. Um, Basically, someone had posted about only talking or speaking abundance into existence, and not being a one for lack or anything like that. And I put a response in there that abundance takes practice. Like you need to prepare yourself for abundance, and you need to make room to receive the overflow. And I talked about how my family has been poor for as far back as my family has memory, like sharecropping, and there's no wealth in the background of my family as far as I know, and that I have been financially okay, and by financially okay I mean I've been able to pay my bills without robbing Peter to pay Paul for at least 10 years, right? So I've been good, I've been vacationing, I've been okay, but I still felt that life was a struggle. And it took me up until the last couple of years to say, well, if I'm struggling to do this or accomplish that or, make this work, I don't need it. Like, I don't have to struggle. This is not the point I'm at in life. And it took me to firmly take myself in hand and say, if it's a hardship, why am I fighting this? Because there's no need for me to fight for anything at this point in life. And I just started to let things go. And basically, if something is a distraction to me, or if it's consuming my energy, my thoughts, my whatever, my attention, and it's taking me away from my stated goals or my planned goals or things I want to do with my time and energy, then I speak out loud. That's not my fight. This is not where I'm going with this. And I make a conscious decision to realign myself and refocus myself and drop the things that aren't working for me. So I've been thinking about that comment. The original poster said that she was actually thinking about that comment all day because it hit her so strongly. And I had thought about it for the rest of the day after I wrote it. And I was thinking about it in a context of how I constantly return. And if you've been listening to my videos for the last couple months, they've all been about my process this year of returning to old places, or looking back to move forward, and reevaluating my life and things like that. And so I was thinking about that comment in the context of not only is poverty deeply rooted in the psyche, generationally speaking, for the person who's trying to move away from it, but it's also a community psyche that I hadn't thought of in context. And so I've been reaching back and returning to people, family, and friends, and trying to help them or include them in a way that I'm trying to move forward in my life. And I've been rejected every single time. And I think, and this is through the years, not just recently, I'm going to say every time I learn something new about life that puts me on another level, I take it back to folks. I'm like, hey, this is what I'm doing. Hey, you ought to try this. Or look what happened, And I share. I share. I write about it. I send it. I email it. I text it. I invite folks, all that. And people just are interested. And so, for many years, I was very frustrated and hurt that people just didn't want to be included. All right. They didn't want to participate in the things that were increasing me. And there was also some guilt that, I was doing better. As my late pappy said, better than I should be. And I was doing it by myself. And I really just, I mean, there was a lot of guilt that I had more than I could use myself. And I wanted to bless other people. But the way that other people want to be blessed is not necessarily in participation. They just want to receive or take, right? And so that's been a lesson that I've had to learn, is that, you know, I might want to bless you with information so that you can go and do with that information whatever you need to do to increase your life and your own opportunities. But they just want me to send money. And I'm like, you know, you may think that the money is the blessing, but the information is actually the blessing, you know? So, I mean, the money, I'm using my money because I'm reinvesting everything, you know? So if I get 100 today, I'm going to eat what I need to, pay bills with whatever, and then that stuff is going right back out to invest in increasing it, you know? So in my mind, I ain't got money to give, but I can tell you how I'm making these plays. I can tell you what's increasing me and the process that I'm doing, all this other stuff. And so what I was thinking about in connection to this post was, I've put in the work to increase myself. Emotionally, psychologically, spiritually. Whole person wise. I've put in the work. And where I was trying to give people shortcuts, without the work, they didn't see it as a shortcut. You know, if they're not working on themselves, if they're not working on their psyche, if they're not working on their emotional state, if they're not working on their spiritual state, if they're not working on their whole life, their finances, their education, whatever, everything that I'm doing to understand where I am and where I want to go, if they are nowhere near that work, then anything I tell them just doesn't make any sense to them. And I sort of understood that on some level when I was sharing the information. But it really clicked when I was in this, you know, IG conversation with people with whom my comment resonated about the psyche of poverty, right? So I'm thinking I'm sharing great stuff, but they are so still deeply entrenched in the psyche of poverty that they can't comprehend what I'm talking about from the outside of that struggle. So even though I think I'm struggling, I'm really not struggling. I'm doing okay. I'm set, right? At the time that I'm sharing this information, I'm set. You know, I was working well. I have benefits. I was eating. You know, I'm traveling. I have no worries, you know. And I'm telling them, oh, you know, you can do da 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 da, and they're like, check, you know, I might have to do 100 things before I can get to that step that you're talking about as step one. And that's what I didn't understand. That's what just clicked for me the other day. You know, so what I saw as rejection in a moment was an inability of people to see beyond where they were in life. And I think what also helped me understand this, and it's been an understanding that's been coming for some months now, is my sister. You know, my sister visited me in my home in Arizona. Not the lap of luxury, but certainly a lap of ease and comfort, because I worked hard to create a comfortable home. And that's one thing people comment on when they're in my space is, your space is very comfortable. And that's just a source of pride for me. I live to create a comfortable space. And so she rested for 2 months. And I thought, okay, she'll, you know, see what's possible for her. And she'll, you know, work on achieving this for herself. Not comfort, but just a better life for herself. And I came to Milwaukee with the hopes of helping her get on her feet and kick addiction permanently and so forth. And within a couple days of me getting here, a couple weeks of me getting here, she admitted that she was back on drugs, and she left her boyfriend and basically went back to the streets, right? And again, I'm hurt, I'm sad, I'm angry. I'm like, you know, would I have made different decisions if I knew this was going to be the outcome for her? And probably not. Doesn't matter. This is where I'm at. This is what I'm going to do. because I'm still moving my ball forward, right? And so what I realized is that it doesn't matter what I can see for her. Like, I completely saw a great life for her, overcoming her demons, overcoming her addiction, overcoming her low self-esteem, and, you know, whatever else she needs to overcome. I saw that for her because it seemed as if she was in the process of doing it. But she didn't see it for herself. And she didn't want it for herself. And she admitted that she's happy doing drugs. She's like, this is where I'm at. This is who I am. This is what I want. And I don't want to be clean right now. And that stung. But it also was appreciated, because I'm like, listen, you are aware enough to know what you want. I know people want to call drugs and addiction a disease and things that people don't have control over, but I'm a firm believer that, you know, no matter where we are in life, we have a choice. And if you have all the help in the world coming at you, and people trying to lift you up and get you on track and all this other stuff, and you can consciously say, I don't want your help, I want the drug and not you, then believe it. That's not the disease talking. That's somebody who knows what they want. And that's where I'm at. That's where she's at. That's why I understand it to be. And it's in recognizing that it doesn't matter, basically, how far of the poverty mindset I've gotten when I'm offering help, because the help is only, whatever I have to offer is only going to be viewed from the mindset of the person it's being offered to. And so if they are still deeply entrenched in their poverty mindset of lack, of not having enough, or never being enough, right? Or not being better, or wanting to be better and not being able to get to better, I can't overcome that for them. They have to overcome that for themselves. And so I can be available. I can leave some cards on the table and, hey, holler when you're ready. But when you're ready doesn't mean that I'm going to be in a position to help. Doesn't mean that I'm going to be in a vicinity to help. But, I mean, I could probably listen. And so I just wanted to share that. That was, I mean, it's a slow moving understanding for me, that everything that I may have seen as rejection was not necessarily, it was rejection. It most definitely was rejection, but not rejection in a sense that, you know, there was a lack of I don't know. Not rejection like, hey, I just don't want it. Just, they couldn't see it. You know, they couldn't comprehend it. So that's where we're at. Thanks for listening. I'm you know, grace. I'm just learning to just try to project more grace towards people and situations. And, you know, all I can do is try to be the best version of myself. And I hope that you are working on being the best version of yourself. And I'm just going to enjoy this. Oh, look at that glow. Hello. To God be the glory. Thank you for listening. Be blessed as you go.